Hello! In a series of videos, I shall try to demonstrate to you a few basic ideas or rules about business partnerships that will save you a lot of time, energy and money if you think of starting a business in the form of a partnership. This is all based on my own experience as well as many years of helping clients as a lawyer to get in and out of all sorts of partnerships and joint ventures and to manage problems associated with them. When I refer to a partnership, what I mean is an association of two or more persons for the purpose of running a business together. Whether it also involves a pooling of any material resources is secondary to this basic reality. In fact, one of the key points in my teaching is that no partnership should ever be based solely or mainly on pooling material resources, be it money or anything else. It's a completely wrong basis for a partnership in the sense I have described. I shall delve into the reasons why so many partnerships fail at some point along the way and what can be done either to avoid this outcome or at least to make it less painful and costly for the partners. The first presentation will be about the reasons for forming a partnership in the first place. The basic idea is that except for certain categories of cases, partnership should not be a default option for starting a business, but rather should be chosen only if certain specific conditions are met, which make it an optimal choice in the given circumstances. If they are not, you should avoid going for a partnership in the strict sense and seek alternative options, what I refer to as alternative collaborative arrangements or ACA. One further clarification to avoid any possible confusion. Although I'm a lawyer by training, I do not use the term partnership in any technical legal sense. Different legal systems provide for certain forms of partnership as a legal structure, both incorporated and not. I'm not going to focus on this because that would distract me from more fundamental issues associated with partnership in the broad sense I have suggested. Legal systems and legal forms vary, but those fundamental principles remain the same. In fact, a partnership can be created in the form of a limited liability company, or even as a purely contractual construct as a non-incorporated joint venture. Of course, legal aspects matter, but they're secondary because if you know exactly what kind of business partnership you want to create, you can always find the proper legal shell for it. That would be a task for a lawyer. But one of my objectives here is to minimize the need for a lawyer's involvement and to reduce related legal costs. I think that with my lawyer's background, I'm well positioned to help you with that. The best way to deal with lawyers is to tell them exactly what you want to do, not to ask them to tell you that. My videos are not designed to provide you with ready-made recipes. Rather, their goal is to help you find your own solution by considering all the relevant factors that it will be my job to flag and explain. I want this to be an interactive exercise, as I will be encouraging you to comment on my ideas and recommendations and to share your real-life examples that we could discuss one-to-one or to share with public more generally, if you agree, of course. I must admit that some of my ideas have not been tested by myself. So I'll be extremely eager to help others implement them and to monitor and assess their real-life efficiency so I could recommend them with the full experience-based knowledge. A few words about myself. I have been practicing law for about 30 years after graduating from 3 different law schools, the last of which was Harvard Law School. Most of this time, about 20 years in total, I was a partner in law firms, 3 in total, ranging in size from 3 partners to over 100. Mainly major international firms, but also one smaller firm. I ultimately left all of them, mostly voluntarily, but there was one special case about which I will talk at some length in my lectures because I think it offers an interesting case study of what can possibly go wrong in a partnership. There was also one about a non-legal partnership that fell apart before being finalized because it became clear that it was not going to work. This was in fact the immediate trigger for my current project, focusing on the reasons why partnerships often fail. My personal background gave me a rather critical view of partnership as a form of doing business, which explains why I ultimately gave up on it. So we'll be focusing largely on pitfalls and issues that can undermine and ultimately doom a partnership, including my own mistakes, with a view to helping the audience to avoid them. I think that your chances of success in a partnership will increase if you manage to avoid them. The concept I will be promoting is that of a sustainable partnership. What do I mean? Well, obviously, I will talk in more detail about this in my lectures, but in brief, it's a partnership that creates powerful synergy, allowing the partners to achieve greater success together than each of them can do on their own, with minimum hassle and friction, and also with positive impact on their lives and society more generally. Finally, disclaimer. Although I will be drawing from my extensive experience as lawyer advising clients, I offer no legal advice. Instead, my focus will be on practical issues based on a cross-disciplinary approach, which is applicable to partnerships in any country. Of course, I cannot fully escape my legal training. Once a lawyer, you are forever a lawyer, they say. Nevertheless, I thought it was important to make this clear from the beginning.